to the second episode of the GAC cast. Today I am joined by a good friend of mine, Jay the Key Evans. Jay, tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, man, thank you. First off, thank you for having me on the show. Glad to be on. One of the first guests, so that's pretty cool.
Yes,
But,
yep.
just your average 25-year-old, trying to make a living just like everybody else. And, one of my aspirations and dreams ever since I was a little kid was, becoming a professional wrestler. And I've been doing it for the past 5 years, and I've been loving every second of it. Traveling to different towns, different cities, seeing, things I've never seen before, and just learning everything I can about professional wrestling. So it's a great, and one of the things I love most, and I'm excited to talk about it today.
Cool. Now, before we get into that, Jay, you actually, like me, you are a manager of Planet Fitness as well.
Yes, sir.
And how we met, for the
you
people
want
that
to tell
don't
them?
know you, yeah. So guys, I met Jay because I actually took his job.
Yeah. Dude just took my job.
Yeah.
Right away.
So at the old Planet Fitness in downtown Conservative, there was a posting for a job, and I remember texting Ryan, "Hey asshole, give me the job." He's like, "Okay, when can you start?" And then I met you. You gave me a tour. You left, and then you came back.
Yep. It was a short hiatus, 3 months, and I was right back.
Yeah.
Right back in the game of Planet Fitness.
Yeah. So you went from assistant to doing whatever you did for the 3 months hiatus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if we want to get into that, I was I started Planet Fitness January of 2019, was just a regular, front desk associate. And 2 months in, I was promoted to assistant manager, which I thought was pretty cool. And I was the assistant manager for the entire time, all the way up until I left. And I just remember, Planet Fitness was, my vibe. That was my type of environment to be in, especially around the same time, I was just getting into working out myself. So, being around that gym environment and having a lot of positive people, from the coworkers to members, very uplifting and, always positive. We all want to see each other succeed. And it was just a great environment to be in, and I'm sure you're aware of it. It's just a whole different vibe working at a gym, and it's great, I was the assistant manager, a little over 2.5 years, and I did end up leaving a couple months, but then, like Greg said, I was right back in there a couple months later with the task of being a club manager now, which it's quite the challenge, but, we're taking it day by day, I'm sure, as you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was, it's definitely, been a ride, and I enjoy my time at Planet Fitness. But I did end up leaving in June of 2021 to pursue new opportunities. It wasn't nothing bad against Planet Fitness or the people I worked with, the members, nothing like that. It was just, some personal decisions I had to make. But yeah, during that time, I tried out 2 things out, actually. So from July till about mid-August, I was doing this thing called Wood Grain, which was like a vendor, like a third-party company from a Home Depot. So pretty much the schedule was Monday through Friday. I would go to a new Home Depot every day, a different Home Depot, and pack out our product. Like we had our own aisle, and it was like wood. So pretty much 16-foot things of wood, base coves, everything, baseboards. Pro packs, things. Sometimes the wood was like 100 pounds. It was some heavy stuff.
Been there before. Worked in a lumberyard. So,
yeah, exactly. He came from
about it. We actually flipped flop.
It was funny, yeah.
You were an assistant to almost like a lumberyard, and I went from my lumberyard to an assistant.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's funny. It's funny how it all ended up like that. But and then not to say I didn't like it, but it definitely wasn't for me. So I should try to find something quick, which ended up being the Ocean County Utilities Authority. So I did that for like a month, and I was quite happy there. The pay could have been better, but I was content there. And then a month in, well, I wouldn't say a month in, I would say like 3 weeks in, I get a message from our good boss, Chris C. Cerulli, And, he was like, hey, man, I know you were really interested on becoming a club manager one day. Something, just happened to open up in Marlboro. If you're interested, I would love to, sit down and talk with you. And, I really missed Planet Fitness. I miss, being around that gym environment. So, I decided to hear him out. And, we're here right now. I'm repping the Planet Fitness merch right now. We just got off work not too long ago. And here we are 5 months later, just about. And, I'm happy I made the decision I did, because at the end of the day, I feel like, working in a gym is where I'm supposed to be right now. And, it's challenging at times, but you figure it out, you stick through it, and you make the most of it.
So how is it from being an assistant manager at, a busy club, because me and you both know how clearly busy South Somerset was, to go into Marlboro, a not so busy club?
Yeah, it was a big difference. Like, I was not gonna lie, I was very nervous coming back into Planet Fitness, especially being away for a couple months. I was like, oh, do I remember everything? For the most part, I did. There was a couple things I needed a little refresher on, but luckily for those first 2 weeks that I was back, I had Ryan there helping me out, showing me things that I've never done before, like doing the orders and all that fun stuff, counting some inventory to make sure everything's all nice and aligned and accurate. But coming from a busy club, it was definitely also a bit of a change, because the club that I'm in right now in Marlboro, it's not so busy. I mean, we're getting busier. The member growth is definitely, on the up, but there's still work to be made there. But like Greg said, coming from a busy gym to a not so busy gym, it's a little bit of a challenge. But at the same time, if it's less busy, it's more time, to get some cleaning done. Coming from a busy gym, we would get housed, we'd get mobbed with people, checking in, sign-ups, the whole nine. So to go from a busy gym where, we were always doing something. It's not like we were never standing around looking for something to do. We were always doing our own thing. Like, so-and-so was doing floor bottles, so-and-so was cleaning this, and that, while two people were at the desk, But now that you're at a slower gym, it's kind of like a lot less or a lot more downtime, but at the same time, that's where I kind of step in and have to, assign tasks for my staff to do, which sometimes it's a challenge, because, when they were, not to shit talk them or anything, which I'm not trying to do here, but,
it's okay, I'm not going to listen to this.
They do need some work, I will say that. Being accustomed to the old manager and his ways, is very, lackadaisical, relaxed type of environment. So getting them to do a whole 180 to be like, yo, gotta work. You're here for this job. You're getting paid to do a job. Gotta do it. I'm not saying they don't do stuff, but getting them to do stuff is pulling teeth. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of a challenge. But at the end of the day, they do what they're told. I can't say they do anything when I leave, but I know for the most part, from where the gym has come since I got there until now, it's definitely a big improvement and a step in the right direction.
Yeah, see, so the difference with when you left to be a club manager, we went to old location. After that, we went to Loop 37.
Yeah.
And, you went there to work out every now and then. It was busy.
Yeah. I remember first coming in, just blown away by how busy you... I remember South Toms River being busy, but wow. So much once you got into that new location, those first couple months, and I'll go in there regularly to work out, it was mobbed every single minute of every single day.
The moment I got there, I'd always go straight to cleaning. With the backtrack break, I remember when you left Planet Fitness. Actually, no, when you got your new gym at Planet Fitness, because we were still at South and away.
Yeah.
Ryan had to go help you out for a week or two, and this was maybe my first month in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you didn't really... I mean, I'm not talking bad about him, but I didn't really get trained that well. I mean, I managed stores before, but
yeah, it's a whole different ball game for you.
I remember hey, how to do, like, I'm doing the orders. He's like, what do you mean you're doing the orders? Like, what do you mean you're doing stats? I'm like, I'm doing all this. Like, what do you mean? He's like, I didn't teach you. I'm like, yeah, no, I taught myself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Hope, how do we do this?
Yeah.
And she's like, great question. So it's like me and her, like, for the past, like, for that whole week, we're just trying to figure out how to do orders, how to do stat sheet, how to do manual inventory, all that.
Dude, that's awesome.
And then, fast forward, when we went to 37, you got your club again, but I know, like, you had some staffing issues, so he was there for a whole month.
Yeah, pretty much, just helping me out, trying to fix the staff, get them, like, used to working, helping me with the orders and things like stats that I've never really done before, because when I was there with Ryan, me and Ryan were a team. Mm-hmm. We were literally, like, he had my back, I had his. Like, being a manager is very stressful sometimes, and, Ryan always knew that the gym was in good hands when he left. Like, he never had to worry about anything because I was, like, his right-hand man. So I'm having a little bit of a hard time finding that at my gym. It's hard to, try to look for somebody or lean on for some help and assistance, and you're not really getting it.
Yeah, he had you, and then after you had me. And even before I started, I've been best friends with Kid for 15 years.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I'm not going to lie, there's been times for me to, like, butt heads, but, like...
Of course.
That's just at the workplace. Every day, like, we were still friends, with the family till whenever.
Exactly.
So it's like, it was good, and then when I said when he was going to your gym, he had the full faith in me to have me run the gym, and he was gone for like a whole month.
Yeah, pretty much. I remember that he threw you to the wolves, and
he was like, "Here you go, I'll be back in a month." I'm like, thanks. I remember.
And that just shows the trust he has in you. If he's like, "All right, I could leave my gym for 3 weeks to a month," he knows it's in good hands, and look at where you are now.
Yeah, I was doing orders like I never done before.
Yeah.
Inventory, I remember the day he came back was the day Chris came and evaluated us.
Oh.
And,
fun.
I'm not going to keep my own horn here, but we got a 99 on the evaluation.
That's solid.
Yeah, that's me. I'm gloating, but... But no, because, like, honestly, like, if you think about it, he was gone for the whole month. The day he came back, 99. And I even told Chris, I'm like, Chris, like, because originally, when I was going to get Jackson, I was like, yeah, do I want it? I don't know. And then I knew it with Chris. Because, like, well, you work here, it's a busy club, you do good, Ryan trusts you. He's like, why do you think you should get it? And my main reason was, I got a 99 on the evaluation, Chris. Like, I'm not trying to sound cocky, but he had to be there for a month. I got this evaluation. If I could do this, I can handle any gym.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And just like yourself, transitioning into the busiest gym probably in New Jersey to, I won't even do half the check-ins that times over 37 does. So it's a big adjustment going in. It's like from assistant to manager. Again, as you said, like I'm doing orders I haven't done before. I am doing tasks that I haven't done before. Inventory. I knew how to do inventory a little bit, but then like it was like, oh, go count them, go put it in the book, do this, do that. I'm like, oh, okay, well I didn't know this, but at the end of the day, it's still good.
Yeah.
I can't really complain.
Exactly.
It's good for the time being. But I told Chris and Laura that, at the end of the day, it's not a career for me. And I'm sure you told them the same thing.
Yeah, this isn't my end game either. But, like you said, right now, no complaints. I'm grateful for the opportunity I have. And, this isn't my forever. It's for the time being.
And for those of you listening, we're not trying to bash my friends.
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
It's great.
Like it's a great company to work
not for me, and it's actually not for Jay. It just so happens to be the two people that it's not for. Because everyone else has been there for years.
Yeah.
Ryan's been there for
8 or 9, yeah.
8 or 9.
And it might not even be Ryan's end game. I know I don't know. I'm sure he's probably spoke to you. He's got some things that he wants to do outside of Planet Fitness, and I'm sure he can do those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great company to work for if you're listening in, and you're thinking about going and work for Planet Fitness. You should definitely give it a shot. A lot of growth, as you can tell, in the company. I went from member service representative to assistant manager to club manager, assistant manager, held his own. Club manager, it's...
Yeah, I think I was the only one that actually got hired as an assistant outside the company.
Yeah.
And then 3 months later, I got a club.
It's crazy.
I remember that, yeah, because like everyone's like, yeah, I started as member representative, the shift lead, and now I'm assistant. Me, it's like, hey guys, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm the assistant manager.
Yeah,
straight off the street. Like, hey, want to be assistant? Yeah, come on. Okay, cool. What's your qualifications? Got it.
When I first started, there was no such thing as a shift lead. It was just front desk, assistant manager, club manager. That was that.
Yeah, so now it's like shift lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anyone wants a job, Jay is hiring and Marlboro.
Yeah.
Trip, but
Yeah, if you're in the New Jersey area and you're close to, the Marlboro Planet Fitness, come on in.
I know Blick 88 is also hiring.
Yeah, they need some heads.
Is Fisher hiring?
I don't know. But I know that they got all brand new equipment as of this week.
Cannon beds, and did they get a total body enhancement? I know they got new.
I wasn't sure.
I wasn't sure what they got, but
we're gonna get the total body enhancement soon, which I'm excited
I'm getting
about.
a new gym soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Relocation.
Yeah.
What?
Anyway, between Chris was telling me because they had John Silver and Kim there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they're like, we don't want to spend that much money, so anywhere opens up. Could be 3 months, could be 6 months, could be a year, could be sooner.
Yeah.
But gym is falling apart.
Yeah, mine is too. Every day there's a different leak falling from the ceiling. It's a whole mess.
I remember I sent you pictures of the leaks I had.
Yeah.
There was a good 50 buckets just.
Yeah, dude. I had to go to the dollar store to get some buckets just to hold all the leaks. It was nuts. It was ruining my floor.
All the buckets in the dollar store. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, it's nuts. Leaking on treadmills, leaking on Smith machines.
See, mine was in the lobby and on tanning beds.
Really?
So I had to close down 3 of the tanning beds for everyone who's born after 92 seems from this nation, so I don't want to be like, I'm going to die in a tanning bed. So I'm like, for the safety reasons, here we go, power.
That was one of my biggest fears. When I first stepped foot in a tanning bed, the first thing I thought of was Final Destination. Like, roller coaster, and then just get burned to death.
Crazy, a whole generation will just define both movies. Even to these days, because in the Final Destination, the fucking 8 they have.
Yeah.
There's a scene where there's wooden lumber, some sort of pikes on the truck.
Yeah. Oh,
and,
yeah.
Anytime I see one of those on the parkway, I'm kind of getting behind this one. No, not today.
Not today. Yeah. That's funny, man.
So like I said, it's good. Definitely. For those of you interested, I would definitely apply to your local Planet Fitness. 88 in Brick. Barnegat, maybe?
I think Barnegat's pretty solidly staffed. They have a good staff. The manager, assistant manager, Anthony over there, he's really good at what he does. And he could definitely be a club manager one day for sure. He's already got all the right tools. He's got a good staff. We got the doggo coming in. But yeah, man, it's been a ride at Planet Fitness. I'm excited for what's coming next. Just trying to do better day by day, and making my gym a successful gym. Because a little backstory here: when I got the job offer, Chris was telling me, he was like, "Hey, man, you got your work cut out for you. This is a failing gym. It's not making any money. It's costing Planet Fitness money to keep this gym open." And you were always a solid guy under Ryan, so I think you could definitely hold your own as a club manager. And not to toot my own horn, but ever since then, our member growth has skyrocketed up, and we've been up ever since. I mean, don't get me wrong, nobody's perfect. There's still some things I need to work on. Being a better manager, working on some reports to get some of those numbers a little bit lower. But at the end of the day, it was a total 360. I gotten praise from Laura last week about how the member growth is insane. It wasn't even projected to be where we're at right now. So that's a nice little pat on the back for myself, and just trying to make it a positive money making gym. I mean, we're still not there yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to come into a gym. Again, I'm not trying to talk bad about anybody, especially your club's old manager, my club's old manager. But when I went into that gym, it was just I have no words because it was just that unorganized, I should say.
Yeah.
I got in there, I had to change everyone's point of view. Hey, this is how we clean. I actually took a bunch of tips from Ryan because they didn't have like a jug for 4 bottles. They waited till they got empty to film. Like, no, this is what we're doing. Yeah. They didn't do a walk around. I showed them to do a walk around properly. They didn't learn how to do tours. And eventually, like, the people who didn't want to stay, eventually, like, I thinned the herd out. And then now there's still a couple. I'm not trying to talk about my staff, but still a couple people that still need work. But I have an assistant now, just like me. He was hired off the streets, but he's doing good. My shift lead's getting a lot better.
Good.
Mainly because like the old manager treated like a kid because he's only 19, so he treated him like a kid. With me, like I treat him like an adult, and I meet with him every week. Yeah. Same with the assistant, so I have daily meetings. So I think that's just the key. Always meet with the team. She's like, hey man, how are you? Like not even at work. Like how's everything outside of work?
Exactly, because that could bring into the workplace. Yeah. Some could be affecting Joe Schmo at home, and he's carrying it to work. And it's like, yo, why aren't you producing the way you should be? Yeah. So I do that myself. I always like to check up on my staff at least once a week, maybe every other week. Just, like you said, hey, how's it going? Not just in the workplace, but outside of work. everything's cool. All that fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a big part of it.
Yeah, because you gotta have a happy staff. That want to come into work excited, gung ho, ready to do work. And I feel like that's a key thing, just having a solid staff. And we're getting there little by little.
Speaking of staff, my staff is texting me.
There you go, look at that.
I'm not ignoring you. Just give me a second.
Yes, sir.
That's that in a second, so I don't see why not. But yeah, no, I know, like, anytime my staff needs something, they get to reach out to me, like, hey, I got a question. Even if it's like not to do with any work, like, hey, can you guys take a talk? Like, yeah, I'll do it. I tell my staff all the time, like, I'll go to war for you guys, like.
Absolutely. As long as they got my back, I got theirs, And
they definitely see it, because I remember, I know I'm not supposed to get into arguments with customers, but I do.
It just happens.
From time to time.
Like, sometimes you just gotta, stand your foot down and
my staff
be a little bit of a dick.
My staff was like, after the whole thing, they're like, holy shit, like what? Like, we never seen you get heated. Yeah. I tell you guys all the time, I would do this for you. Yeah. Like, they were just in the back at the front desk, like, kind of like, what do we do? Like, do we calm them down? Do we not calm them down? I remember one time I was getting heated at a gentleman all over $10, and like I started to walk forward to the guy, not like in his face, but like where my computer was, because I was like kind of in the middle. Yeah. And I started to get a little louder, and my uncle was like, "Stop it!" Like grabbing my arm, like, "Stop it! You need to calm down!" Like, "Stop it!" And like I was just kind of blowing off by accident. So she was like, "You don't have to do that again, because you scared the shit out of me." I was like, "Yeah, well."
Sometimes you have to, Like, I remember my second day as club manager in Marlboro, so just coming back, and second day, some dude who's, regularly working out there, who was friendly with the staff, always cool with the staff, wasn't following one of the policies, gym bags on the floor. So I went over to him.
Oh, he told me about this.
Yeah. So, I went over there. I was like, hey, man, I'm the new club manager. Nice to meet you. Very nice guy, introduced ourselves, shook hands, talked a little bit about sports, because I noticed he had a San Diego Padres hat on, so we were talking a little bit about baseball. And I was like, hey, not to be a dick or anything, but, one of our policies is you just can't have gym bags on the floor. Today, if you want to do it, that's fine, but tomorrow, start putting it in a locker. He got all confrontational on me, like, from the jump, like, who the fuck are you to tell me I can't have my gym bag with me? Like, I have a lot of valuable shit in there. Oh, and he also had, I don't even get this, because who would carry this amount of cash in the first place to begin with? But he said he had $3,000 in cash that he always carries in his gym bag.
Wow, what a big flex.
Like, yeah, like, why would you carry $3,000 in your gym bag every day? Like, I don't get it. But I was like, all right, like, just leave the money at home, like, just put your gym bag in a locker, buy a lock even. Yeah. You keep the money in your bag, buy a lock. Nobody's going to break into a lock.
A car, leave it in your car or in the trunk.
That too. And, he literally got in my face, like, he almost touched my nose with his nose. And, he was like, I'll put you in a fucking hospital bed with tubes feeding down your throat. I'm like, dude, this isn't the route we could take right now, because I held my own. I held my composure. I didn't, freak out. But, I started getting loud, but, I wasn't stepping to his level on, because, he was looking for a fight, getting in my face and, saying that, I took that as a threat. And, if I wasn't working under Planet Fitness at that time, things might have turned out differently. But I know as a manager, you got to be professional at all times, and don't take nobody's shit.
You can only be professional to
a certain extent, of course. But Ryan came over and he was like, "What's going on?" And he was getting up in Ryan's face, and then we were just like, "All right, we're gonna call the cops." So he was done, canceled, over with. See ya. Hope you're doing well if you're listening to this.
I remember that. Actually, just last week, I didn't tell you about this. There was a guy jumping loop. And, you can't jump rope because of the policy violation. People are like, why? Because if most people, when you go to the gym, you're not paying attention on your phone. So if Jay's jumping rope, I'm walking past him, he hits me with the jump rope. Technically, it's a lawsuit because that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was jumping rope. I went up to the guy. I'm like, hey, man, just so you know, you can't jump rope. I thought he was going to take it fine. He's like, what the fuck do you mean? He's like, I've been coming here for 10 years. This is bullshit. I'm like, listen, I get it.
Those are the ones, yep.
We are under new management and a whole new staff, so that we're trying to enforce more of the policies here. He's like, this is stupid. I want to cancel my membership. I'm like, I get it, sir, but it's just a policy violation. He's like, I see people in here all the time jumping up. I'm like, no, you don't, sir. Me and my staff been on top of this the whole time to get people to stop jumping up. Kissing me off, goes to the locker room, whatever. I start cleaning. He's up front. He's trying to get the contract or the agreement of it, and my team's like, hey, how do I get to it? So I showed him, and he starts video recording me.
Oh, my Lord.
And he's like, this is bullshit. You guys are trying to discriminate against me. And this is kind of unprofessional, but what I said, I'm like, sir, how am I discriminating against you? We are the same skin color.
At that point, yeah.
So he was kind of more shook that I said it, but he still recorded me.
Yeah.
So he's like, whatever, just give me the contract. So I gave him the contract, and after going over, because in my free time, I'd actually read a contract to see what everything was. And I just highlighted everything about the policies, about, we could change the policy anytime if he's fit, yada, yada, yada. He just storms out and then goes away. And he actually never canceled his membership. So he's still paying, even though he said he wanted to cancel it.
Stupid.
So that was my story that happened. But we're about halfway through. So real quick, we're going to get into some ads. The first ad we have is Anchor, who is actually responsible for this podcast. If you're looking to do your own podcast, Anchor is that for you. It makes everything easy to record in, edit in, and add in music. My buddy Jay Shillelagh actually got me into Anchor because he has a podcast. Go check his podcast out on Apple Music and Spotify. Thanks, Jay. The second sponsor we have for today's show is Planet Fitness.
Yeah, buddy. So you know it. Always repping.
Yep. For today, if you're looking to join Planet Fitness, for a Black Card membership, it is $1 down, $22.99 a month.
And I would definitely capitalize on the Black Card membership some point during this weekend, because as of May 2nd, the Black Card is going to go from $22.99 a month to $24.99 a month. So if you want to get that $22.99 price, you have up until this weekend
to do it. Yep. And with the Black Card, if you like to bring a guest, if you have a friend you want to go travel with, you can travel to any Planet events worldwide, bring a guest anytime you go. Use of the Hydro Bed and the massage chairs, and total body enhancement if the gym has a total body enhancement, as well as 50% off drinks. Besides the muscle milk and I sell different stuff in my gym, so yeah, besides the muscle milk.
Yeah.
And then the third ad / sponsor for today is Stitch Fix. Stitch Fix makes buying clothes easy and without the hassle of going to the store. I know me personally, when I go to the store, I cannot find anything I want to wear. With Stitch Fix, I got this actual shirt a couple months ago.
As I say, that's a nice shirt. Right?
So Stitch Fix works. They give you a stylist, and you kind of pick yes or no, whatever you want to wear.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
They bring up shoes, they bring up shirts, they bring up, jackets, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you pretty much check mark for yes, X for no. And then after that, they schedule your fix. It's automatically come through. You can do it, I do mine, I do once a month. And if you get the whole box, you get 25% off, as well as a $20 discount. So in total, it comes to under $200, depending on what you get, and you get at least 5 items in the box itself.
That's awesome.
So me personally, that's what I like.
I might hop on that.
And you could keep. You don't have to buy the whole box. You actually keep what you want to keep because they give you a UPS shipping label, send it back, go to the local post office, drop it off, and then if you want to keep some shoes and a shirt, you go on the app itself, and it says keep shoes, keep shirt, or you want to keep it all. It's up to you. You get
That's awesome. That's really cool. I'm definitely going to look into that.
Yep, and then if you like the product but it's too small, you could always exchange it. They send you a new one within a couple of days.
Cool.
Just send the old one out, and then you're good to go. And if you're going for a promo code off your first item, off your first box, promo code is BASEMENT. That's BASMENT. On your first order of purchase, get 25% off. Additional 25% off as well as 25% off the whole box.
That's solid.
Yep. So definitely check it out. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments on below when this is on YouTube. If you have questions via Spotify, reach out to me, reach out to Jay. We'll leave our Instagram handles and Snapchat names in the towards the end and in the video on YouTube as well. So after that, now Jay, as you said earlier, you were trying to be a professional wrestler. Yep. You told us earlier you travel all over the place, different towns, different states, different cities. At how old were you when you decided to be like, hey, I'm going to be a professional wrestler?
Yeah, so get into it pretty much as soon as I was able to walk and talk. Like, that is all I ever wanted to be in my life. It's a professional wrestler for WWE. I remember, well, I don't remember it, but my dad, he told me when I was very young. I was about a year and a half old, and he was just flipping through the channels on a regular Monday night, and Monday Night Raw came on, and I was just a little baby, and I was just hooked. I was mesmerized to the television. I remember as soon as he put wrestling on, my head turned to the TV, and it had my full attention, and that was that. From there, I was just hooked on to wrestling, and I always said that's what I want to be when I grow up. And when I grew up, the opportunity presented itself, and I couldn't say no. And here we are now. It's a rough business. It's very hard to get into. I was very fortunate enough to find my own way into wrestling, because there's a lot of different ways to get into wrestling. Some ways are better. Some ways are kind of frowned upon. I was one of those frowned upon ways. Because wrestling schools, they're expensive. I'm not, if you want to be a professional wrestler, if you're listening to this, go to a wrestling school. It's the greatest thing that could ever happen to you if you want to become a professional wrestler. If you want to make this a living, go to a wrestling school. But I was fortunate enough to start not in a wrestling school, but eventually I did go to one where I realized, hey, I need to really go to a wrestling school if I want to progress in my career. So I started a year after high school, so I graduated in 2015, so it was 2016 now, and at the time, well, he's still popular on YouTube. At the time, Grimm's Toy Show on YouTube, he had over 1 million subscribers, and his videos would blow up. He would post daily at 5:30, Monday through Sunday, and within 2 hours he would already have 100,000 views. It was nuts. So he had a ring in his backyard, and I would literally be on my phone constantly, leaving comments in his YouTube videos, shouting him out on Twitter, emailing him even hey, I want to be on your wrestling show. I want to, I just want to get in the ring. Mm-hmm. That's it. So after about 100 emails, text messages, all that fun stuff, he finally answered to one of them, because he has a lot of subscribers, a lot of followers. So to find one person in there to reply back, And even now, I got a somewhat decent following on Instagram, Twitter, so it's hard to reach out to everybody that has my support. But I just try to every day. But so we actually met at the Toms River Toys R Us.
Oh wow, okay.
The one across from the Ocean County Mall.
Shout out to Toys R Us. That was a spot back in the day.
Legendary, iconic. And I want to go to the one at the American Dream Mall.
Yeah, I've been there before. It's fire.
Really?
Yeah, it's fire.
I need to go. But, so we met there, and I remember being, so nervous, and we met in the wrestling toys section in Toys R Us, and he was like, hey, what's going on, man? I'm like, hey, what's going on, Jay? Nice to meet you. And at the time, I was probably about 110 pounds, soaking wet, acne all over my face, didn't look like a wrestler at all, But I just, wanted to be a wrestler. That's all I ever wanted to do. And he was just telling me about it. He's like, this is what we do on my YouTube show. We're always doing so, like, we have a knowledge of who's winning, who's doing this, but it's all, like, stuff could happen on the fly. Like, something I say that we're going to do, could happen and will happen, but then also when we're in the moment filming, something else could happen and lead into something else. So you got to be, like, quick on your feet and, like, ready for anything. So, like, I remember, like, one of the tryout, well, not really a tryout thing, but I remember being in Toys R Us, and, like, we were just talking. Like, he was telling me this stuff, and, like, I was just, paying attention to him talk, because I was trying to hear everything he was saying, and I remember, like, not even paying attention. Like, he just grabbed a wrestling figure in a box and just hit me in the head with it. And keep him up, like, I just met the guy. Like, what the hell? Like, what? How does this even make sense? But he was like, all right, wow, that was really good. Like, you reacted to it, and, like, he hit me with it, and I, like, reacted to it as I would in, like, a wrestling match. And he was like, all right, I like that. Like, I didn't expect you to, like, actually sell it. I was like, awesome, so I guess I'm in. And he was like, yeah, if you're really serious about it, come on by. Here's the address. Here's the time that we're filming, this and that. So I got there. It was probably about 2 weeks later is when he was recording again, and because he would always record multiple episodes in one day, so we had enough. And, I finally get there, and I remember they were starting, some training, little bumps and stuff, and I was always one of those kids that, like, just looked up on YouTube, like, how to take a bump, how to do this move, and all that stuff. I was always, because, you watch wrestling as a little kid, and you're like they're beating the piss out of each other. But then, when you grow up a little bit, you realize, wait a minute, this is predetermined.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so what fascinated, like, a lot of people, like, around our age, once they found out wrestling was scripted or, as people say, fake, which is the furthest from the truth, they stopped watching it. Like, why am I going to watch this fake stuff? And I get it, I understand, but, like, what fascinated me was, alright, if it's fake, how do they pull it off? Mm-hmm. Like, what's the trick here? What's the illusion? Just like a magician, like, what's the secret? So that's what really got me into it, and, like, it pulled me in even more. And I just remember just always practicing on my bed, getting slammed, and I remember my first bump, and, like, these guys had no idea who I was, so I didn't know if they thought I was trained already or, just some Joe Schmo walking in. But, like, I took that first bump, and one of the dudes who actually helped train me, who's, like, a 20-year veteran, was like, where'd you train? I was like, oh, never trained at all. This is, like, my first ever time being in a ring. And he was like, no way. I was like, what? He's like, that bump was, like, a perfect bump. Like, where'd you learn how to take a bump? I was like, nowhere. This was my first time being in a ring. Like, I watched YouTube videos on how to take the bumps. He's like, wow, like, that was really good. And, just from there, like, just taught me more stuff, and as more time went on, I was just learning, like, this is really what I want to do with my life, so any chance I got to be in a ring, I was just getting all the knowledge, just, packing it up in my brain, because, I want to make a living out of this one day, and, I want to know everything and anything about this business, and the cool thing about wrestling is you learn something new every day. Like, I've been in this business 5.5 years, and I'm still learning stuff. It's a great business to get into, also kind of shitty at times, like, there's a lot of highs, a lot of lows, but, those are the best times. You got to enjoy the ride. But yeah, then once it was funny actually too, because typically, like, when you go to wrestling school, they train you for a while. Like, sometimes it takes a year to get your first match. Me, since I started out the unprofessional way, I actually landed myself a match 2 months into training.
Oh, wow.
Which, looking back on it now, definitely wasn't ready for it, but it was a pretty solid match, and that kind of catapulted me into getting booked on the indies. So it's called independent wrestling. You call it indies for short. And who would have known if I didn't have that first match? you know,
he would have been now.
Yeah.
And he just had a show at the YMCA for what, AEW?
No, I wish AEW. I wish.
I forgot what it was.
I wish. I wouldn't be at Planet if I was.
Yeah.
But no, it was SWF, one of the local New Jersey close. One of the local New Jersey promotions here. It was a tables, ladders, and chairs match. My body's still hurting from the brutality of that match. But yeah, no. So I had that match 2 months in, and you know the booker took notice and was like, "Hey, like, you didn't do such a bad job. If you want, I have another show in 2 weeks. If you want to be on it, you know, I'll throw you on." I was like, sure. Like, you know, anybody who's in the business, you know, wants to get in the ring and put on a show in front of the crowd. So I was like, even though I really didn't know what I was doing in there, I was like, I just had to take up the opportunity. And then, you know, I stuck around doing Grimm's, you know, regularly on YouTube, and SWF would book me. That was probably the only company that would book me for a while, up until another promotion came around, UWC. But then I would say about a year and a half in is when I was like, okay, I'm not satisfied with where I'm at right now. Like, I see all these other guys that I've been on shows with, you know, like booked every weekend and traveling to different states, different cities. And I'm like, wow, that's where I want to be. Like, why am I not there? And then I, you know, sat back and was like, okay, maybe it's because I'm not going to a school. Because most of these people were going to a school. So that's when I was like, okay, I really need to take it seriously and go to a school. So I, since luckily I was kind of categorized now as like a pro wrestler, and like I knew how to work. Like I knew the basics, I knew how to bump, I knew somewhat of the psychology of putting together a match. So since you were an experienced wrestler, on Tuesdays at the CZW school, there was a trainer there. His name was Preacher Phineas James, one of the best trainers in New Jersey by far, and probably in the world. This dude is incredible, from all the transitions and different holds he teaches you and the psychology. He's an incredible trainer, and I owe a lot of what I learned from him, you know. And every Tuesday would be once a week. It was a $5 fee, and you know, he would train you for like 4 hours. So I would do that every Tuesday, and then we went to, then he left CZW and went to H2O, and then I followed him to H2O for a little bit, but that didn't last very long, because then that's when I started kind of working at Planet. So I did train in a school while taking other bookings for about a year and a half, 2 years, and then, you know, I wasn't really making a lot of money, so I needed a job, and you know, I landed on Planet Fitness.
Full circle.
Yeah, full circle. Here we are now. But yeah, man, I just love wrestling. Like, it's, to me, like, I could talk for hours and hours and hours about it.
So take me back to your very, very first ever match. What was going through your head? Because I know with me, when I did my first NAGA tournament, North American Grapple Association, I was fine. But the night before, I was out with some friends, and out of nowhere, I just psyched myself out. Like, I was shaking, I felt sick, I got my own head, I'm like, oh shit, what's going on? So, but then the day after of the tournament, I was fine. So, what is your experience like with your very first one? What was your, like, did you freak out? Did you, like, cope? Did you see it as, like, an opportunity?
Honestly, opportunity was number one. Yeah. Like, I was like, wow, like, I can't believe this. I'm actually going to get to live out my dream and wrestle in front of an audience. And I just remember, like, the week leading up to it, the day before, the day of, just being so pumped up and, like, just excited about, you know, getting to be in the ring and wrestle in front of a crowd. And I remember the day of, I was really, really nervous, especially when I got there and, like, seeing all these people. And, like, when you first came in, they knew who we were, because it was me versus Grimm in that first match. So they were like, alright, these fucking YouTubers think they're wrestlers, yada, yada, yada. But meanwhile, Grimm was trained back in the 80s. He went to Iron Mike Sharp's school. Okay. And that's where he learned how to wrestle, because he was an independent wrestler when he was, like, our age. Yep. And then, you know, he had to get a big boy job. And then he started doing YouTube, and, you know, that's how he makes his living now. God bless him. But I just remember, you know, like, wow, we're getting, like, dirty looks, and, like, you know, I got a lot to prove here, in a way, you know, like I don't want them to think I'm the shits. But I just remember being super extra nervous about that because, you know, they already got this stigma that we're backyarders.
YouTubers, backyarders.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Quote-unquote posers.
Yeah. So, you know, they, in the wrestling business, they take that shit very seriously, which, once I started going to a school, I understood that. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like, now I kind of feel the same way. Even though I started in the yard, when I see some of these kids start now, I'm just like, wow, like, you really shouldn't be in a ring.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you doing?
That's how they felt about you.
Yeah, exactly,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember being super nervous because wrestling is predetermined. It's scripted. We know what's going to happen. So just trying to remember the entire match in my head, like I must have been saying it to myself 100 million times. And then just the butterflies in your stomach, man. Like, they were like, all right, your match is next. And I'm like, oh, God, like, here it is. This is going to happen. This is going to go really good.
Either make it or break it.
Yeah. And, you know, luckily the match came out, you know, great. You know, and they were like, you know, for being yarders, wasn't such a bad match, not going to lie. Give yourself a pat on the back, but you guys still suck. You guys don't know what you're doing. Get the fuck out of professional wrestling. But that wasn't going to stop me.
Yeah.
Fuck that. But, yeah, like, I feel, and, like, you hear this a lot in wrestling. Like you said, your first, you weren't really nervous the day of, but you psyched yourself the day before. But, you know, I was psyching myself out the entire day. And even today, I'm still psyching myself out because you don't want to mess up in front of the crowd, you know, because it's live. It's not like TV or movies where you could just be like, all right, cut, redo it. Like, no, this is live. So if you fuck up, everybody's going to see it and know it.
I think what helps, not to cut you off, but I think what helps is, like, having your friends there with you.
Absolutely.
You know.
Which, luckily, I have a lot of friends in wrestling, you know, who always support me, and I support them. You know, we want to see everybody succeed. But I feel like a big thing in wrestling is even the simplest of matches I still get nervous on because every crowd is different, so you got to cater to wrestling fans, non-wrestling fans, you know, stuff like that. But I feel I always get those butterflies every match because I feel like if you don't get those butterflies and if you don't feel some type of way about it, then you don't care about what you're doing. Like, if you're, you know, like, and there are people in the wrestling business who do this just for the money, and, like, you know, those are the guys that don't really care. Like, they'll just go out there and have a match. I'm not saying that it'll be a bad match where they don't know what they're doing, but, you know, their heart is just not into it. Mm-hmm. But, you know, my heart is always into it because I want to give the fans, you know, you're paying your hard-earned money to see me, so I want to give the fans, you know, all of me. Like, I want to make it your money's worth. And, you know, that's how I look at every match. So every match, I'm, you know, like, getting my butterflies, oh, what if I forget this spot? And, you know, I just care about what I do.
Yeah. See, what helped me after my night that I lost, I explained in this last podcast episode, but I'll explain it again. The guy I went against, because it's weight, so it doesn't matter how tall you are, we go by weight. The guy was like 6'6".
Jesus.
195 pounds, 90 pounds.
And you're what, like 5'10"?
I'm 6 foot even.
6 foot even.
When I weighed in, I was actually 185.
Okay.
When I weighed in, I thought I was going to be 195 or 190. So I was in the wrong weight class.
Yeah.
But the kid I grappled against, you know, he ended up winning the whole thing. But everyone he versed after me, because it's a grappling tournament, so it goes by points.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you tap out, you lose. So takedowns are points. Attempts of points, reversals, whatever. So he submitted me because I had like 10 seconds left and I had to go for something. But he submitted me even though he did. I lost 8 points to 5. So I was actually doing better than I thought.
Yeah.
He won the whole thing, like I said. But every other match after me, he did 3 more matches after me. Every other match he did, not one person put up points against him.
Wow.
So like the second match after my match, he won 8-0. The semifinal match, he won 9-0, and then the final match, he won 10-0.
So that must feel awesome for you.
It was good for me, and then at the time, my the guy training me said these words, and they stick to me to this day. And you know, it's something even you can do with wrestling. A lot of people say they're gonna go out and do it, there's only a few amount of people that actually will go out and do it. And, you know, it stuck with me until this day still does, because, like, there's so many people in this world say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, you know. I'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And, you know, me and you put examples, like, you went and did your first match, I went and did my Naga. So now it's like, okay, you know what, doesn't matter. Then, you know, fast forward almost like a year or two, couple months, I actually was at Driven Gym up in North Jersey, and I actually trained with Frankie Edgar and his coach.
That's incredible.
So then, you know, talking to them, like, hey, I did this Naga, psyched myself out, what do you got? Like, any pointers? And they was like, yeah, no, you're going to get it. And they pretty much said the same thing. They pretty much said, like, it's okay to feel that way, you know. Everyone has it. Even Frank was like, even to this day, like, I still sometimes get it. It's what you do, how you compose yourself after it happens. Whatever the outcome is, how you define yourself as a true one for the sport.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's kind of the same thing, but also two very different things, because yours is real, while mine is scripted.
Yeah.
But how would you prepare? Because I know you did some more shows afterwards.
Yep.
So how did hearing what Frankie Edgar say help you in your next shows, in your next fights?
It was great. You know, I had again good team on Tongue Dragon. They helped me so much. Shout out to all my coaches there, all my teammates. It's very weird though. Like when we spar, you know, I see everyone there like a family or a friend. You know, like it's like when I'm sparring with them, I kind of feel like almost like I hold them back. Like I don't want to hurt you, but like, you know, day of the tournament, I was like, I wanted to kill the fucking guy because like, I want to win. Like this is what I want to do. But no, it's good. You know, I like it a lot. You know, I think there's another tournament coming up in 2 months, so I'm gonna make every class I can to try and get in.
Definitely, yeah.
Obviously, you know, I need permission from my coach first. You know, because like I could say I could be ready, but he could be like, no, you're not ready. I'm like, okay, whatever. You're the reason why you're the teacher and I'm the student. You know, you've been doing this for years. He actually goes and judges like Muay Thai fights, MMA fights.
Oh wow!
You know, he was in Dubai, he was in Vegas. He goes like all the
That's awesome.
Cards. So
it's definitely a good coach to have them for sure.
It's definitely good. You know, again, if anyone has any questions about, you know, whether you're trying to be an MMA fighter / grappler, Apollo, you know, definitely let me know. You know, if anyone has any lesson questions, you could ask Jay. Since we're all running out of time here, we're going to wrap this segment up. So with me, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter. My Instagram is... I gotta look this up because I forget.
What's your Instagram, bro?
G_Chanik. So it's G_Chanik, CHANIK.
What?
If you have any questions, DM me there. Jay, what is your Instagram?
My Instagram is at RealJEvans213.
So if anyone has any questions about wrestling,
yeah, hit up my DM, send me a message.
If you have any questions about working at Planet Fitness, you know,
definitely
hit us up as well.
I'm hiring. I need
you need some people,
some peeps that, you know, are willing to work.
And if you want to be on next week's episode or whenever it is, I try and do it once a week. But again, everyone has a life, work gets involved, you know. So
yeah, no, I'd love to come back. This was awesome.
You know, I try and do it. Jay, if you want to come back next week or two when I do it, you're more than welcome.
Absolutely.
To come back. Always good to have you on. Thanks to everyone who listened to this and everyone who watched the video and put up with me and Jay talking for the past 55 minutes. Thanks everyone. Hope to see you in a week or two. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.